Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today we have the gorgeous Spice collection of papers and embellishments from our friends at 49 and Market. So let's take a look. First up, we have a pack of 28 sheets of double-sided pattern papers. Now here you'll have 3 each of 9 papers plus a fussy cut sheet. So let's take a quick flip through here and we can see some of these designs. I absolutely love the color palette that they've chosen for this collection. And of course, true to 49 and Market style, you'll have absolutely gorgeous florals. You'll have some beautiful faux texture. Everything is designed to coordinate to make it really easy to make beautiful handmade cards and other types of paper crafts. So you can see some of this faux distressing on here, beautiful butterflies, really nice coordinating faux textures in matching colors, really beautiful designs. And then here is that fussy cut sheet that you get as well. Now on the back side of that is a gorgeous faux texture pattern. So you can use either side or both of them, whichever you'd like to do. Then we've also got 2 sets of laser cut embellishments. There's the Spice Laser Cut Mixed Media Leaves set with 49 images and the Spice Wildflower set with 68 images. Now with both of these sets, you will also have some cutout images on the back of the cover sheet. So this is a really nice added bonus. Let's take a look at the mixed media leaves. I was curious what they meant about mixed media, but you can see that each of these leaf clusters has some beautiful faux texture, some text on here as well, really gorgeous. Now with these, all you need to do is simply punch them out from the backing piece. So they're all perforated, really easy to use. Let's take a peek at the wildflowers. Again, on the back, you've got your cutout images, and then you've got some beautiful elements that you can use as card focals for the inside of your card and so much more. Beautiful butterflies and floral elements in here. So lots of fun and beautiful things to play with in those sets. Now, last but not least, we also have a set of wishing bubbles and baubles. I love these. They just add a really nice finishing touch to your project. So here you have 153 epoxy stickers with dots and little sentiments and hearts in different sizes and colors. Now, I absolutely adore this Spice collection. I think you might be able to tell. I'm really excited to see what we can create with these beautiful supplies. I'm so glad you're here today, so come play with us. This is a great example of how easily the papers and embellishments all come together. So I've started by first covering my card front with this beautiful brown dotted patterned paper, and then I've added this strip across the card front. Now this is one of the cutouts, and it's a bit of a vintage ledger. It's actually meant to be read vertically, but I thought since you're not actually trying to read all of the numbers and the words on here, it would be fun to position that horizontally instead. And so here I've simply matted this onto a contrasting kind of a faux texture lighter color of cardstock. Now because this cutout was not as wide as my card front, after I matted it, I snipped it in half and then glued each of these flush with the edges of my card. And then I've covered the gap that's right here underneath my card focal. So my card focal is created using a series of rectangles from Hot Off the Press's rectangle die set. And I've started with my first here, this brown rectangle, and I've inked the edges of this using the Midas Gold ink pad. Now this is one of my favorite ink pads for edging. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to bring in 2 pieces of cardstock. One thing I love about this ink pad, now you'll notice I'm holding it by that plastic base, but the ink pad itself is up off of the surface of that base. It's not recessed into the plastic, which makes it really easy to simply hold against your cardstock, run this along the edge, and that's going to give you a really nice crisp edge line on there. create some definition. Now you can also, again, using this and holding it up against the edge of your cardstock, you can angle that ink pad much more toward your surface of your cardstock. Kind of shuffle that off, and that's going to give a really nice, soft vintage effect on your cardstock. So depending on which direction you go, if you want something crisp and classic or something a little bit softer, either way you can create that effect using that ink pad. So again, that's the Midas Gold, one of my favorites. So then back to my card focal here, I've got this popped up on foam tape and then nested onto a scalloped rectangle and then onto another straight line rectangle. Now this has been die cut using the hammered gold paper from hot off the press. I love this design. It's got a nice, soft, subtle texture to it. And the other side is a matte surface. This works beautifully, not only for matting as well as die cutting, it also works really nicely for any of your mini envelopes, tag in a bag, gift card holders. It's a really nice all-purpose specialty paper, and it does just work beautifully for adding a little touch of metallic shine. Then the focal elements are from the Leaves and Wildflowers laser cut embellishment collections. So I've combined the two and then added this thankful cutout. The leaves are popped up on foam tape to give a bit of dimension. You've got a butterfly laser cut also up on foam tape and a couple of those wishing baubles over here. These little gold hearts that you see are from the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed Dazzle set. And this is what mine is looking like these days. I've also used this on the inside of my card. You can see the sentiment as well as a couple more of those hearts. Now you'll notice my sheet looks well loved and well used. One little tip, here's the silver version. One little tip, when I first get these, before I peel off any of the words, I will pull off this backing piece. Just pull the entire thing off. And that's going to give me a little bit of extra space, usable space here, where if I pull off one of the dazzles and then I think, oop, no, I've decided against that, I'm going to use a different one, I have some space where I can position that back on the liner sheet without trying to relocate and fit back in that beautiful design into its original space. So a little tip from me, just pull off that whole backing sheet, and then they're a little bit easier to get back onto the sheet if you change your mind. So again, I've got some more of those hearts here and the sentiment on the inside. And I've got more of the mixed media leaves on here, some of those watercolor style leaves. Got another heart bauble on here. And then this piece of patterned cardstock has also been inked with the Midas Gold, and that's really helping to tie in all of these soft metallic touches, not only on the inside, but also on the outside of the card. This card design also uses that nested rectangle focal area to create a nice spotlight area for some of those beautiful ephemera pieces. And this time the card design is opening from the center in a gatefold style. It's a really easy card design to do. So let's take a look. I'm using one of Hot Off the Press's pre-scored 5 by 6.5 inch card bases. And you can see maybe that score line right in the center there. So normally, you'll just fold up your card base and you've got your 5 by 6.5 inch card ready to go. But in this case, what I'm going to do is use this center fold as a marker for folding in each of my side panel pieces. So I'm just going to line this up with that center fold, score that down. Then I'm going to use my bone folder to really create a nice crisp crease on here. I'm going to do that with one side and repeat with the other side. There we go. And again with the bone folder, end to end, and then I've got my gatefold style of card. It's a really nice kind of trick to have in your back pocket when you're card designing and you maybe think, oh, I'm a bit stuck for an idea. This is one of my favorite ways to get some creative inspiration, is just to do a different format of card base. So what I've done then is covered each of those front panels with a piece of pattern paper. And then I've got my card focal element on here. So again, my coordinating nested rectangles. This first layer is up on foam tape. I've also added some of that Midas gold inking around the outside edges. Then I have it layered up on a teal and a contrasting orange rectangle. I've got my leaf on here glued straight down, and then my flowers are popped up on foam tape. So is my moth and the little best ever cutout. I've also got some of those wishing baubles over here as an accent. And then when you open up the card front, you can see I've got my beautiful butterfly pattern paper in here. This adds some contrast and style. It also helps to cover up that seam in between. And then I've got, again, another nested rectangle sentiment on here with a beautiful floral ephemera element going diagonally to add a little bit of interest and to also create some space for my Dazzle sentiment, which is from the Sending Smiles Dazzle set. This card is featuring another folded design, this time made with the Center Step card cutting die. And this die will give you the folded card base, which looks like this. Really fun one to design with. So let's take a look at the die. I'm going to move aside my card for a second. This is the package, and as you can see, it's just one die. You've got some instructions and some diagrams on here too to make it easy to know which fold is going to be a mountain fold and which one will be a valley fold. Of course, Hot Off the Press is always going to give you a project idea too, but I'll show you how easy it is to use. So it's just one die. You've got your cutting edge on here as well as your scoring lines. So one pass through your die cutting machine and you will have a piece that looks like this. So all you need to do is fold up this main section as a mountain fold and then the others with valley folds. So pinching those together and the whole thing will fold up like so. Then what I always recommend, come in with your bone folder and give a nice crisp edge on here. Now I'm using the 12 by 12 X-Ray Flowers cardstock pack for my design because you do need. Our final project is another simple design featuring a combination of the pattern papers. I've got some brown glitter cardstock here. Gorgeous ephemera, creating a really nice big focal element on here, but layered up with the butterfly and the leaves sentiment, one of the wishing baubles. Now I've also got some die cutting going on back here using the fancy quatrefoil die from Hot Off the Press. Now here is my game-changing tip for you. We've got quick release die paper. Comes on a roll that looks like this. It's really pretty, but it's also super functional. And I've found that it has really made my die cutting easier, especially when we're looking at intricate dies like the fancy quatrefoil, like the chicken wire die we saw on the previous card, and especially those that are not only intricate but also large, like a background design. So let's take a look here. Now I've snipped off a piece of the quick release paper. You can see it's beautifully patterned on here. You've got a nice big roll, and in fact in the box you've got, this is a twin pack, so you've got 2 rolls in here. I think Debbie's got the other roll from my twin pack. So we'll both be using this to die cut to make everything easier. So what you'll do is position your pattern paper, your cardstock, then place your quick release paper on here, and then take your die, of course cutting side down, and pop that on top. And then what I like to do is secure it all down with some low tack tape like this one from Hunky Dory. Tape that down and run it all through your die cutting machine. Now, this is with the chicken wire die. Let me show you how I've got it with the fancy quatrefoil. So this I've just run through my die cutting machine. Take off the top piece here, and you can see that all of these pieces just fall right out. And this is using that glitter cardstock. So a sturdy cardstock, a nice heavy weight. And instead of struggling with my pokey tool to get all of those little bits out, everything is coming out perfectly. Now I ran this through my die cutting machine backwards and forwards and then back again, but I did not have to run it through again and again and again and again, flip it over, run it through again. It made it so much easier. Here's that last little piece, and here we go. You can see that gorgeous glitter design, nice sturdy cardstock, but you see how easily it all came out from that backing sheet. So a definite game changer for me and probably for a lot of other die cutting enthusiasts out there too. So the quick release die paper is what I'm going to be using for my intricate dies. Then again, for my card inside, I've got another little snippet of that die design. I've got one of the leaves, and again, a cutout on here, and one of the Dazzle's sentiments as well. So this is our final card project of the day today. A big thank you to our friends at 49 and Market for this gorgeous assortment of spice collection. I had a lot of fun playing with this today, as always, with 49 and Market. A special thank you to you for joining me here today. We're really glad you're here, and we're so happy you're a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. And each item can be purchased separately. You can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.